Hi everyone, I'm here for your astrotherapy update for the week of March 24th. Wow, there is so much going on in the cosmos this week, so just hang tight because this is going to be a long one. There's a lot of heat, a lot of action, and a lot of activity this week. On Monday, we have the moon that's in Aquarius. So Aquarius is the rebel, it's the visionary, the water bearer, right? It's innovating things to help the collective and the community, but also with a focus on our individuality. It's innovative. It wants to focus on liberation, on freedom, right? And this is making sweet aspects to Pluto and Aquarius, as well as the Sun, Venus, and Mercury this week. So it's a really nice time to evaluate a few things. One, who am I? What do I value? How do I relate to those around me? What are my contributions to the collective? Do I feel worthy to share my voice within the collective? How am I integrating with my community? Do I feel comfortable? Do I feel vibrant? Do I feel vitality? Or do I feel a little shy and a little vulnerable? Do I understand and do I have a deep knowledge of my voice as to how I relate to others? Or am I hanging on to outdated understandings of my identity? Is there something that needs to be reborn to help me feel at home in my body, in my self-confidence, with those that I'm in community with? And then lastly, do I know and appreciate what I bring to the table, right? There's a difference between cockiness and confidence. Can you find the sweet spot in this space? So also, on Monday, there is a cazimi, meaning the sun aligns with Mercury in Aries. This is a really nice predecessor to the eclipse on Saturday. So Mercury rules our downloads of information, our intellect, our communication. It's all about our thought patterns and our processes, right? Pre-programmed processes. So this is, again, centered around the space of authenticity. The Virgo eclipse could have brought up a lot of overwhelm, self-criticism, maybe self-judgment, imposter syndrome. Why me? So what is your inner roommate telling you? Is your inner voice focused on the negatives from life experiences that have maybe shaped you? What's it telling you? Is it telling you can't do this or you're not enough? Has it dampened your worthiness at all? Is there a why me question? And Aries knows it's why me because I'm the only one of me, right? I can boldly and courageously show up. I mentioned in another video that it's like the seed pod that sprouts above the ground, right? It knows that there's dangers, but it has to grow, has to leave the pod. It's trying to figure out its new environment above ground, but it trusts the systems that are in place, right? It trusts the sun to do its job and provide food. It trusts the pollinators to go and spread its seed and continue life, right? To serve its purpose. So Aries stands up for what it believes in. It knows how it shows up. It's willing to defend what it values and what it believes in. It's the mantra of I am enough. This is all about where do you need to do the work to step into your personal power. If things feel tense with people this week, fall back where you can because it's pretty hot this week. Aries is ruled by Mars, which is the god of war. So try not to fight over things that won't matter in a short amount of time. The 5-5-5 rules. Will it matter in 5 minutes, 5 months, 5 years? If it's not going to matter, maybe just leave it alone. Aries rules the head, the skull. It rules the brain, the eyes, the upper jaw. So just notice where you're holding tension. Holding tension in your jawbone. Are you having headaches? Do your nerves feel frayed? right? What we take in through our eyes determines what happens and what is processed through the amygdala and the hypothalamus, the space in our brain that talks to our stress responses. So notice where the heat is, notice where the tension is. Do things that help you cool off the heat. This might be movement. Be a little careful this week just because of some of the placements that we have going on. Restorative yoga, yin yoga, to calm down, temper that heat, align, your body, align your spirit. Elongate your exhales. Maybe massage the temples to soften the tension. You can also do a little massage and press below the occipital bone to do a vagus nerve reset that goes and communicates and talks to the rest of our body. If you're feeling the heat, you might avoid spicy foods and lean more into cooling foods like watermelon or cucumber, just to kind of find a little bit of a reprieve and bring a little bit more of that refreshing energy. So on Tuesday, Mercury is going to be in Aries. This is sextiling Pluto in Aquarius. It's a good time for transformation. So we talked about finding self-confidence through Aries, and Pluto can assist us in transforming those things. So what have you outgrown? What are you ready to move into new territory on? What are you ready to try that's new? This might be getting rid of outdated belief patterns that are limiting your growth. This might be stepping into new habits, new hobbies, new passions. The Aquarius moon is making some sweet aspects to Jupiter in Gemini and Chiron in Aries. So this is a nice time of emotional detachment with that moon. Notice what triggers you. So see if you can step back and take the ability to be objective. Ask yourself, what unmet emotional need do I have here with this response? And how I'm feeling. How do I go about healing this emotional wound? Why did this trigger come up? What stimulated it? Where did it start at? And how do I transform this into a new way of being or doing? This could be an output of maybe new boundaries, a new way to assert yourself, to have emotional, maybe healthy connection. All right, moving on to Wednesday. The Aquarius moon is going to square off with Uranus and Taurus before it moves into Pisces. So how do you ground yourself? How do you take practical steps? Aquarius wants to innovate. It wants to try new things, but Taurus really wants stability and practicality. So those two might kind of have a little bit of tension there this week. They might square off, right, if you will. So a tiny bit of conflict. As the moon gets into Pisces, though, this is a softer, dreamy, creative, intuitive, emotional assessment. There's stillness, maybe things like prayer, faith. Look around you. Do you have good energetic boundaries? And then for the third time, we have Mars and Cancer that is squaring Chiron and Aries. This is now the third time this has happened. So the other dates were 10-13 and 2-3. So October and February, think back to those dates. This is the last stop really for integration and emotional healing. So notice where there might be emotional reactivity. These are deep wounds that take us into reactivity versus responsiveness. And over the course of these squares, have you been able to lean into responsiveness? They could remove us from our personal power and out of our space of self-assertion. So how do you keep those intact? Are you at war with yourself, or are you hanging on to some emotional upset maybe with somebody else? Are you acknowledging and processing your anger, your rage, and your conflict in a healthy way? Have you stepped back and assessed your conflict style? Do you avoid it? Are you too aggressive and maybe people don't want to work with you, right? So we learn these conflict styles through our household when we grew up. Do you need to reform your conflict style? Is it working for you? If you're having maybe harder emotionally charged discussions, so a nice way to navigate conflict is to take a step back. Set your goal for the outcome of the discussion. What would you like to see happen as a result of that discussion? Maybe you begin the conversation with the goal and you ask the other person, what do they want to come from the conversation? And just note, are you guys on the same page? Do you have common ground, and is this going to be a productive conversation? Are you working to gather information, or are you looking to find a resolution with some tangible actions? If one person wants to gather information and the other person, maybe they want to reflect, but the other person is trying to move right through to resolution, there can be a lot of tension there because you're not on the same page. So how do you meet in the middle, and how do you find balance and harmony through the opposite sign of Aries, which is Libra? It's about the other. So how do you temper your emotional responses enough to have a healthy discussion, nonviolent communication? And this can be set through going in with a little bit of intention. So when you start to build a safe space for healthy conflict, you begin to heal that emotional woundings, and that leads to creating more confidence in the Aries space. So on Thursday, we have Venus that's going back into the sign of Pisces. It's also going to make a conjunction with Neptune, which rules the sign of Pisces. It's dreamy, it's about illusion, it's about deep reflection on relationships, love. So relationship to both ourselves and to others. What do you value? Can you take time to be in your own energy and be around people that will hold your heart compassionately? Maybe this is a nice time to make art. This is an intuitive space for self-reflection, right? As we reach the peak of the Aries eclipse, that's going to take you forward. So can you lean into your emotional body and your intuition and discover more about what is in alignment with your soul path from a divine perspective, right? Are you trying to see, are you self-sacrificing? Are you engaging in escapism due to overwhelm? Or are you trying to avoid things? So pay attention to this, because sometimes what we're avoiding ends up building pressure, and then there could be a potential catalyst, especially with all the change and the energy that we have this week, for that to kind of open the floodgates. So how do you step into your divine feminine, radical self-love, compassion, self-forgiveness, and empathy? And how do you do this for others as well, but without blurring your boundaries and accepting something that you feel feels like disrespect to you, right? So it's about discernment and seeing if you can stay present with the intuitive downloads and guidance that might be coming through. But also notice where you're looking at the world through rose-colored lenses. Are you seeing something's potential and not as it exists in reality? It's a nice time too for dream tea and for more spiritual practices like meditation and prayer. And then Friday and Saturday, we have so much going on with the moon that is moving from Pisces into Aries. So the theme here is going to be faith over fear. They are on the same coin. To have fear is to be human, but how do you get through that and lean into faith to support your next steps and help carry you forward, right? And faith that forgiveness exists in the imperfections. The moon is working with the Mars placement, which is in Cancer. It's also working with Uranus and Taurus, Saturn, Neptune, and Venus, all in Pisces. So, wow, what a lineup of soft, nurturing energy to kind of look at recreating the dream. So where do the Pisces and the Aries energies sit in your chart? This is going to tell you a lot about what's coming up. What is tugging at your soul's purpose that makes you feel emotionally inspired? How do you build security to help the fear dissipate and dissolve away, right? So the Aries eclipse is happening on Saturday. This is a time of raw potential. It's new beginnings. It's about our independence, courageous new steps, self-discovery, self-confidence, coming into alignment with our authenticity, our passion. It might be personal breakthrough, and stepping into your personal leadership qualities. So this could also be on the other side, maybe recognizing where something is in its infancy, right? With Aries being that it's the first sign. Is there something that maybe needs to mature? And with that, can you lean into the Pisces opportunities before this? Because those are going to come from the end versus Aries, which starts at the beginning of the zodiac wheel. Pisces is the last sign. So that is going to be using all of your experience and your lessons to find transcendence, to understand the bigger picture. It understands the suffering, the joy, the love, the guilt, the laughter, shame, regret, guilt, the amazing connections. And it also understands forgiveness. So it encompasses all of these things and intuitively wants you to navigate an understanding of what's next after the void, after the stillness. So Aries is operating from the gut instincts, a primal urge, right, that you just understand here in the 3D, whereas Pisces comes from the third eye. It's the fabric of the cosmic consciousness that is leading you, that you can lean into to support and hold you. Aries is going to give you that fire and the momentum to go chase this new thing. And the moon in Aries is working with Jupiter in Gemini. So it's kind of like the oxygen, right? Feeding the flame. It's a childlike curiosity that really gives life to the flames of passion for what's new and what's changing. On Saturday, Mercury is going to move back into Pisces. So where Venus was about our values, our relationships, beauty, Mercury rules our thought processes and communication. You might think about something more abstractly. Because Neptune is in its final degree, right? This is the space of the void. It's the pause. It's where nothing and everything, all of the wisdom exists all at once. It's emotional depth, spiritual reflection. Can you challenge yourself to stay in flow during this time? So as the universe is happening around you, changes might be happening. Can you stay in flow, step back and become the observer of the egoic preferences that want to react? So this might be a time when people might be forgetful, they might be spacey. Offer yourself compassion and patience. Write down, things that you need to get done. Make calendar reminders, confirm appointments. On Sunday, the moon in Aries is going to be working with Chiron, the wounded healer. So what makes you feel truly seen? Are there any childhood wounds that might be coming up here? Are you feeling overshadowed or underappreciated? Do you have a fear of being alone? Do you feel like you're enough? Worthlessness can come up as it relates to the Aries ideologies of confidence and self-esteem. Aries also rules the body. So this could be physical or emotional trauma. Have you experienced disassociation from your body? Are you feeling connected? And if not, maybe lean into some gentle things that you can do to cultivate more trust with the mind-body connection, like a body scan meditation. So this is where you kind of review each part of your body, and you bring it to the mind consciously. Maybe counseling, energy work, exercise. You'll start to build safety and connection with your body. And the last aspect that I want to talk about for this week is Neptune moving into the sign of Aries. So Neptune's coming from its home sign of Pisces to a fresh new degree of Aries, right? Birthing a new dream, a new vision. This is going to make Neptune want to move a little faster because of the Aries fire. Aries can be a little impulsive, so watch out for that impulsivity or the expectation of instant gratification, right? with changes that might come up. And understand too, Neptune's an outer planet. So while it's moving faster than it did in Pisces, it still moves pretty slow. So take the time to stay in touch with your goals, with your passion. See what you can do on the day-to-day that's going to feed that heart-centered flame and keep it lit. Keep yourself conscious and aware, right? Check in with your choices and your actions. Are they in alignment with your new soul mission, with the Neptunian influence that has come up and shifted? You have the dreamy, instinctual, intuitive attributes to create really inspired change as we move through this next long-term cycle. So that is all for this week.